right, lead heads, we are back with another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. It's episode 285. I'm your host, Lefty. Appreciate you guys tuning in and joining us. Hope you caught our last episode, which was our part 8 of the Talking Lead AK Corner presented by Pioneer Arms Corps. We had Finn from Manicore Arms, and also joining Schwell and I was our good buddy Brian Keeney with Occam Defense, and we talked all things AK-47 accessories. So make sure you guys go back, check that episode out, and we gave away another AK-47, so make sure you guys are tuning in to that. We've got 4 more AKs that we're going to be giving away, so you don't want to miss that. Our episode prior to that, we had Commander Tom Coulter, former Navy SEAL, talking about the SEAL teams, kind of explaining all the different numbers. I was always curious about what SEAL Team 2, 4, 6, and all the different numbers and the West Coast versus the East Coast. Did a great job explaining that and a lot more. Very good interview with Commander Tom Coulter. And then the episode prior to that is when we kicked off our 2019 SHOT Show interviews from the Buck Knives booth, the official lead quarters of Talking Lead for SHOT Show. And we had CJ Buck on that episode, and then we also did our interview with World War II veteran Al Mampry. He was the last surviving member of Easy Company. That was an awesome interview. Was honored to have Al on and look forward to getting him on again. So we are going to continue our 2019 SHOT Show interviews in this episode, and we're going to have a first-timer on the show. We're going to have Butch Whiting, and Butch Whiting is one of the founders, creators of Kryptek Camo. So that is a very good interview with Butch. He's a great guy, has some awesome stories for us, and he gets into telling us a little bit about how Kryptek got started with he and a buddy of his. That's coming up. But before we do that, as always, we want to show some love to all our sponsors. Ride-On Optics, the official optics of Talking Lead. Make sure you guys go check them out, riton.com. Ride-On Optics for all your scopes, red dots, binoculars, and they're coming out with some rangefinders too. Hopefully that's sooner than later, but they just came out with some new Mod 7s. They've got their 1 to 8 hunting and tactical versions of that, and they got their 4 to 32 by 56 long-range precision scope, which I am trying that out now, and I'm loving it. You guys heard me talk about the 1 to 8. I'm sold on it. Love the 1 to 8 tactical version. Haven't tried that hunting one yet, but I know that they've got some more in the works, and they're working with our good buddy Charlie Melton on some things on a future scope. So rideonoptics.com. Check them out. Kel-Tec Weapons. I've said it before. They are probably one of the most innovative firearms companies in the industry. Kel-Tec Weapons. George Cleghorn, we had him on last year at SHOT Show. It was a great interview with George. So you guys make sure you go back and listen to that interview. Hopefully, we'll be able to get him on in the near future on an episode and talk about some of the latest and greatest things that Kel-Tec has coming out. You heard us talk about their new 22 long pistol that they've got and the KS7, which is the single tube version of their KSG shotgun. It's very lightweight. It's got a few different aesthetic things to it, but really cool. So make sure you go check out keltecweapons.com as well. So some things we've got coming up, looking forward to. We've got the Big 3 East coming up at the end of March. Like 2 days prior, I think they're having some sort of an armorer's course with Mark Krebs. I'm going to be going to that. So very interested in seeing what that's all about and taking part in that. And then, of course, during the event itself, getting our interviews, hopefully the signal's good enough where we can do some live Instagram, Facebook Live interviews as well. And then coming up in April, of course, we got the NRA annual meeting that's going to be happening. And, of course, we're going to be there bringing you all the latest and greatest from NRA. Still working on where the official lead quarters will be, but I think we've pretty much got it buttoned up. We just got to make it official, and then I'll let you guys know where we're going to be at. Unfortunately, though, during the NRA, that is when the Sheepdog Impact Assistance annual fundraiser is going to be, the big gala that we go to every year. We're going to miss that, unfortunately, but we are still going to be getting with our sponsors and friends of the show and getting all kinds of awesome auction items for that big gala event, auction fundraising event. So if any of you lead heads are listening and you've got items that you want to put up to donate for the Sheepdog Impact Assistance annual gala and auction, shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com, and we'll see if we can't make that happen. So you guys and gals are going to want to stay tuned until the very end of the show, because we're going to be awarding one of you lucky lead heads with another package from the Talking Lead, Buck Knives, Streamlight, FLEOA, EDC Pocket Dump Rewards program. This will be the last civilian package that we're going to be awarding, and then we've got 3 more LE packages to give out. So stay tuned for that. But before we get into our interview with Butch from Kryptek, we've got to take care of some jackwagons. Gunny, bring that train in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
Okay, so the train has stationed, and we've got several jackwagons that we're going to take care of this week, submitted by you lead heads. And the first one comes to us from Jason Farmer. And Jason's real good about sending us jackwagons. Hey, Lefty, got another jackwagon for you to consider. This time it's the big box store Best Buy. In particular, one in Roseville, California, outside Sacramento. The store manager fired one of its security guards for breaking the rules by assisting a police officer that was punched by a shoplifter and almost got away. Security guard Tyler, who was also an Army veteran, assisted the deputy by tackling the fleeing suspect after he had assaulted the deputy. A manager cited that the store's policy does not allow for security to pursue or lay hands on a shoplifter outside of the store. He goes on to say, I enjoy shopping at Best Buy, but this is pretty ridiculous that they couldn't make an exception for a veteran that was assisting a deputy that had just been assaulted. I would like to give a shout out to Tyler for supporting our men and women in blue by assisting them when they needed help, despite Best Buy's policy. I hope someone reaches out to him and gives him an even better job. So I'm sure most of you have heard this story, but the Blaze has an update on it. And this is in February 13th, 2019, over on the Blaze. You guys can go and look this up. It says, you may recall a story about a Best Buy security guard who got fired last month for tackling a wanted man who punched and ran from sheriff's deputies in the store's parking lot. First off, after word spread about the actions of the heroic security guard and Best Buy's rather unpopular response, the company curiously walked back its termination decision, saying it had reason to take another look at what happened. Well, of course. I mean, now they do this. He goes on to say, well, you're apparently too late, Best Buy, because your former security guard, Tyler looks like his last name's Matilde, is now testing to become a deputy trainee for the very sheriff's department he helped out that day. The Placer County, California Deputy Sheriff's Association posted the news on its Facebook page, noting that Matilda's quick thinking and courage aided in the apprehension of a felony suspect. And this guy was a big douchebag, too, who he helped take down. It says Tyler is a U.S. Army veteran that served with the 10th Mountain Division in Afghanistan in 2014. Tyler was also an 11th Bravo infantryman and still lives his military virtues as we see here. The sheriff's office also honored Tyler for his actions with a Citizen's Medal of Merit for choosing to act instead of remaining a bystander during the incident. So kudos to Tyler. Way to go. It looks like in the end, he's going to come out on top. And Best Buy, I mean, poor decision in the beginning. Hopefully you'll change some of these policies. I mean, these big corporate stores, I mean, you can kind of understand why they have the policy, but at the same time, they should have, before making a statement and terminating him, they should have reviewed the case in full before firing the guy. So, Best Buy, welcome to the Jackwagon Train. And Tyler, if anybody knows how to get in touch with Tyler, maybe we could award him with one of our Pocket Dump EDC Rewards program packages. So, if anybody knows how to get in touch with Tyler, shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com, and we'd be happy to give that young man one of those packages. All right, our next Jackwagon nominee comes from Leadhead Jason Edgar, and Jason says, this nomination is for the inventor of this device. It is advertised that you can now lick your cat. He says, I bet flaming liberals love this product, sitting around solving everyone's problems and licking their cats. I'm sorry, but someone needs beat up over this. So he's got a link here, and this is pretty ridiculous, but it's basically a thing you put in your mouth, and it's in the shape of like a giant tongue, and you hold it in your mouth, and you basically lick your cat with it. It's pretty ridiculous. I don't see a name for it. It just says this device allows you to lick your cat. This weird gadget lets you lick your cat. And there's a YouTube thing on it. PDX Pet Design. But yeah, I can see all kinds of other uses for that as well. So you guys can go check that out if you want to. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then we get another one from Jason Farmer here. It's SHOT Show nominees. So apparently there was some guns stolen from SHOT Show. I didn't know about this.
What?
And he sent us a link here to the story. So this is another one from Jason Farmer. It's 2 Las Vegas men charged with stealing guns from SHOT Show. This probably happens more often than we know. It says a pair of Las Vegas men were charged with stealing dozens of firearms from the shooting, hunting, and outdoor trade show in January. Jamico Foster and Eduardo Limon, Limon, probably Lemon, worked as forklift operators during the trade show at the Sands Expo and Convention Center. The two appeared in court to face federal charges of possession of a stolen firearm, possession of an unregistered firearm, after authorities said they had stolen at least 65 firearms, including machine guns and rifles, from 4 companies. Let's see who got hit here. Remington got hit. LKCI, Blazer USA, and Legacy Sports International were the ones that got hit. Both men were released on their own reconnaissance, though U.S. Magistrate Judge Nancy Cope restricted them from possessing weapons while out of custody. Let's see. This attorney general told the judge that their jobs helped facilitate the thefts, though ATF agents solved the crime in a near record-breaking period of time. He added that the 2 men who were part of Teamsters Local 631 apparently had plans to steal the weapons. The prosecutor said Foster had a criminal history during dating to 2010. Lemon's attorney said, my client looks forward to resolving this matter expeditiously. I'm sure he does. But yeah, two Jackwagons. So they know that these firearms that they steal, they make them inoperable for the show. These aren't operable firearms. I mean, yeah, if you know what you're doing and you got the parts and the tools to do it, you can fix them. But still, idiots. Let's see. The list of weapons and accessories takes up 2 pages of spreadsheets in a criminal complaint. Remington machine guns, rifles, and pistols. Denell Land Systems machine guns, Mauser rifles, Glock pistols. There's some rifles, advanced armament silencers. So they've stole a whole slew of stuff. And I know people were complaining too when they were when SHOT Show was shutting down, because we had plans with a couple of the guys, and it took like forever for them to get the union people over there to start tearing down their booths. So that's probably what was going on. Was these 2 boneheads were busy wiping everybody out. So a little bit more to the story. It says the ATF issued an alert on Friday asking gun store owners to be attentive for any individual seeking gunsmithing services or more specifically firing pins. So there you go. The ATF knew what to look for. The next day, the owner of Gun Shop Las Vegas on St. Rose Parkway in Henderson reached out to the ATF saying that Lemon, Foster, and a woman had purchased a 12-gauge shotgun and magazines and asked about a firing pin for an AR-style firearm. The man said they were told by an associate that the firing pin needed to be replaced when it was cleaned, according to the complaint. The owner concluded the individuals were unfamiliar and or new to firearms. Lemon told the owner that he worked at SHOT Show. There you go. Two boneheads, actually 3. They'll probably find out there's probably more people involved with that as the investigation goes on. But anyway, so thank you, Jason, for those two Jackwagons. We appreciate it. My 2 Jasons, Jason Farmer and Jason Edgar, they both are really good about sending us Jackwagons. So this last one, Matt, and Matt sent us one in a few episodes back, and apparently I butchered his last name, and it's Eichwedel, and he says it's pronounced Eichwedel. So Matt Eichwedel, I hope I'm saying that right. Eichwedel, Aquaman, Matt Aquaman. So I hope I got your name pronounced right. But Matt wants to throw the Connecticut Democrats who introduced a 50% tax on ammunition, calling it public health measure. And there's some kind of bonehead representative they got up there, Jillian Gilchrist, says, I've introduced HB 5700, a 50% tax increase on ammunition. It doesn't apply to military or law enforcement. I'm hearing pushback about the need to protect one's home. But how much ammunition does someone really need to do that? Oh my gosh. And then she goes, hashtag gun sense, hashtag enough. Well, obviously, Jill, you don't have enough gun sense to realize that there's no such thing as having too much ammunition. Oh my gosh. It says, we see this as a public health measure similar to what we've done in the state of Connecticut with increasing tax on cigarettes. When we increase that tax, we've seen a reduction in use. So you want people to reduce their ability to protect themselves, their family, and their loved ones is basically what you're saying there, Jillian. I mean, they just don't get it, and they're never going to get it. I mean, they don't see the big picture here. They don't see the tyrannical government part of the Second Amendment. You can never have enough ammunition for that. So, I mean, these people are so blinded and narrow-minded, it prevents them from seeing the big picture. I mean, what do we do? What do we do as Second Amendment proponents, as gun owners, as Americans, to help these people through their ignorance? It's just mind-boggling, the logic that they use. That just ties in perfectly with the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Thursday theorized that if President Trump can declare a national emergency in order to bypass Congress to fund a border wall, there's no reason that a Democratic president in the future can't employ the same measure to deal with gun violence in the country. So, I mean, they're not pulling, they're not trying to disguise it anymore. I mean, they're just coming out and blatantly, saying what they want. They want to take away our gun rights. They want to take away our firearms, our ability to defend ourselves. And she made it perfectly clear in that statement right there what the Democrats are up to and what they want to do. And with this jackwagon here in Connecticut wanted to boost the ammunition tax because she wants to reduce the sale of ammunition. I mean, she came out and said it plain as day. So you Second Amendment lovers, you American lovers, you firearm lovers, we can't let the Democrats get control, So you got to go out, you got to vote, you got to support the individuals that support what we believe in and our Second Amendment rights, and not reducing those, not giving them up in any shape, form, or fashion. So get out there and vote and speak your mind. Be the squeaky wheel. All right, so those are some good jackwagons. Appreciate you guys for sending those in. If you're sitting there saying, hey, I got some people I'd like to nominate, then do that. Shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com, and put jackwagon in the subject so I'll know what your email's about. Helps me quickly sort through those and pick them out. So Matt, Jason, and Jason, appreciate you guys sending those in. So now let's get into our interview with Butch Whiting with Kryptek from the 2019 SHOT Show at the official Leadquarters of Buck Knives. All right, guys, you ready?
Ready.
Ready to do this thing?
Absolutely.
All right. Leadheads, we are back at the 2019 SHOT Show at the official Leadquarters, Buck Knives. And joining me once again, we have our good buddy Brooksy.
How's it going, Leadheads?
Yeah, man. So, day 2, we're knee-deep in day 2 of SHOT Show.
Right.
How's it been going for Buck Knives so far?
It's been insane. All the new product has been very well received. We've had a lot of good people come through here.
What's the one thing everybody's just buzzing over?
I'd say the slims have been what's getting the most attention, yeah.
Yeah, those are nice, definitely. So, you have brought a friend by
That's
to
right.
talk with the Leadhead Brigade.
That's right.
You want to introduce our new guest?
Yeah, this is Butch Whiting from Kryptek.
Butch, welcome in, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
So this is the first time we've had Butch or Kryptek on the show, so we're very honored to have you on.
I'm glad to be here. Should be fun.
All our listeners are very well familiar with Kryptek, the camo lifestyle. And you guys are more of a lifestyle brand now than a camo brand, you know?
That's all by accident.
Did that happen by accident?
Yeah, when we developed the camo for the U.S. military, we intended that we'd bring it into the hunting market, but we never once thought that it would have the surge that it's had becoming lifestyle camouflage as well. And now we find our stuff on Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and I think the most expensive vehicle that I've seen it on is a Earth Roamer out of Colorado, an expeditionary vehicle, about $750,000.
Oh my gosh!
And then, so
how cool is that?
You run up against the legacy camo patterns that are in the hunting market that have been around forever. Now there's different terms for them, like Grandpa's camo and stuff like that. But
right.
I can never imagine seeing some of those camo patterns on a $750,000, vehicle, or a $350,000 Lamborghini or Ferrari. So that was all by accident. We're still trying to get our head wrapped around it. We're a tactically focused company,
right?
And chasing our passion of hunting. Those are our two primary focus areas, and we've got this major groundswell in the middle called lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you're welcoming it. You're not.
You
ain't hating on it, right?
Not hating on it.
Not
I think
at all.
we got super lucky, and we developed the camo to be extremely functional and effective. And then I think after a bottle of gin or something one night, one of the other founder, Cleghorn, decided to plug in some different colorways and see how it would look in grayscale. Or
yeah, I was going to ask you. I mean, how did you guys? You're one of the inventors of this, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Founder, co-inventor.
Yeah, myself and the other founder, Josh Cleghorn, served in the military together, and we actually flew Apache Helicopters. I was his commander. He's one of my junior warrant officers.
Okay, cool.
And that's where the friendship started. And the ultimate Kryptek idea was, to generate a lifestyle by design. That was our goal. And we thought, when I was actually in northern Iraq at the time, how cool would it be to be in the outdoor industry?
Right.
And it was a concept. And then,
like, how can I get into this industry?
Yeah, we went from an idea of how cool would it be to be hanging out with brands and guys like Chris and Buck Knives and Leupold and Nosler and Hornaday and sometimes I have to slow down and go, wow, this is all went from an idea that when we weren't fighting and winning our nation's battles, now it's come to fruition. So
very nice.
Yeah.
So over a bottle, the best ideas happen over a bottle of something.
Scotch.
Scotchy Scotch.
So yeah.
How long ago was this idea formed?
Well, it started in northern Iraq, and it was I think 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And then we came home and wrote a big business model. I did 25-page business model, and Cabela's got a hold of that business model in 2009, and we got our first deal with Cabela's. There was an exclusive with them, and the only place you could buy Kryptek was at Cabela's in 2010, 11, and 12.
Okay.
So that's when we move into what I call the hobby phase, and we were in the hobby phase for a long time.
Trying to figure it out.
Backpacking, SHOT Show.
Keeping your full-time jobs.
Yeah, figuring out. I mean, the very first SHOT Show we did, I stood next to a mannequin that had our stuff on it in the Source One Distributors booth and wondered how you ever could do whatever. So people ask me how old it is, but really in 2014 is when we decided we were going to do this for real, full-time and fully focused.
So, I mean, still relatively new as far as companies go,
I think so.
5 years or so.
Yeah, initial growth, but with an extremely amount of momentum and also a global footprint as well.
Right, because you guys are worldwide.
We are. Yeah, we have Kryptek Russia now, Kryptek Africa, Kryptek Spain, Kryptek France and Belgium, and Kryptek Scandinavia, and also Kryptek Asia.
Nice.
So,
Now, being in all these different countries, has that come up with some different color variations for you? Requests?
Well,
or are you just set on a certain, this is our colors?
We've got our, what we call our 1.0 patterns, which are the macro and the micro pattern remains the same. We just changed the colorways, and that was all inspired by camouflage netting and specifically done for the U.S. military. We're now starting to release 2.0 patterns, and we'll actually come on real strong here this year with a couple of those licensing those out, and then also next year we'll have a new 2.0 pattern. But to answer your question, we do programs with foreign militaries, foreign special operations,
meet their specs,
and there could be environments that we would generate specifically for their region or their area of concern.
Now, when you say new pattern, you don't mean new color. I mean there's an actual
there's
new
a
design,
a flavor of Kryptek, but different than what everybody might now recognize as Kryptek.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, if you come by the booth, we'll give you a sneak peek.
Okay, a little sneak peek. Now, and I know you're not familiar with our show, but we are the podcast for exclusives. So when you get ready to announce that, the Leadheads would love to be the first to hear about it.
Okay, well, I'll make a note of that.
Okay, duly noted. I've heard that a few times.
It's funny, Butch said earlier at the beginning of this podcast that they got lucky, and I totally disagree with that, because when I met Butch and Josh, it was years ago. It was basically at the very beginning of their process, and we just, I happened to be fortunate enough to sit down with these guys and look at their pattern, and it's before it went gangbusters like it is now, and immediately, once they explained the science behind it and gave me, some visuals of it,
right,
it was like, this is going to be the coolest thing to hit the market. And I had no idea. I'm sure they had no idea that it was going to take off like it did. But look
at you forecasting the future.
Clairvoyant.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that'll be the first time anybody ever said that. But
Brooksy in his crystal ball.
But no, I just when we sat down, it was like, this is really going to be some cool stuff. And when I started talking to them, thinking that this would be something that would look really good on something small like a knife.
Yeah.
I was asking if they could get this to a micro pattern, and they said at the time that wasn't micro, but anyway, that eventually it would be. Yeah. So that was super cool. And
so as Brooksy's talking, I completely forgot that I've got Kryptek camo over our headsets here.
he pulled it off to paint a visual for the listeners, and is like showing me his headset as Chris is talking about our first meeting, and he's pointing at it. I'm like, yeah, that's Kryptek. Yeah. That's Typhon. That micro discussion, there was some encouragement we received from knife industry was the primary deal. Also in the archery industry, when you have a riser and you start to lose, some surface space. But when we went to our hydro dip film partner, TWN, and we said, we want to do a reduced version of film for decorating, TWN said, you're wasting your time. We've tried it in the past. It doesn't work. And now those micro print films, those 25% variants, are the top sellers. And it's all on the substrates where you need more detail, like a knife handle or a riser on the bow or a bow sight or whatever else. There were some other things. We dipped some bows with Bowtech initially, and it was full scale, like the fabric that's on your headset, and you just kind of got lost. It looked like a couple gray lines here and there.
Couldn't really get the effect of it.
Yeah. But I mean, I say that we got lucky. It was right place, right time, and we definitely disrupted the market for sure. And we got some guys that were probably complacent, active again, and now there's companies that are out there. They've been around a long time that have reacted to our I guess success.
And they're like, what are these guys doing? Holy cow, we got to step it up.
So, but the thing is, though, the one thing that those guys will never be able to do is to say that their camouflage has been extensively tested by the Department of Defense and selectively used by U.S. Army Special Operations. So
that's huge.
That's a huge deal. That was definitely a right place, right time, and for us to be a part of that tender and selection, and then to make the Final Four and to go through that whole thing.
Right.
It was baptism by fire. And
now you mentioned, you're in all these other countries as well. I mean, is that kind of an exclusive thing for you guys too? I mean, you don't really hear about these other camo companies being in other countries like you are. I mean, the extent that you are.
We're, it's a lot of the same patterns we have that are available here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And it's not an exclusive with them. There's special programs. Here's the difference between us and some of my competitors. My competitors on the hunting side probably don't even know who my competitors on the tactical side are. And the guys on the tactical side are not concerned about these guys on the hunting side. And here I am, got my foot on their throats on both sides. So. But it's a big landscape. That. It's a huge landscape, for us. So we're much, much more than a camo company. We're really a product company. I mean, our camouflage is, call it infamous or well known, but our product is surging, growing, scaling. There's lots of different terms, but we've got some of the best outdoor apparel and tactical apparel available in the market, bar none.
You guys are doing your own apparel. You're not licensed it through somebody else.
That's correct. Yeah, Kryptek branded apparel. So Kryptek logo, just like this vest I got on.
Yeah.
So.
We actually we got to go by your booth a little while ago. T and I did, and I was looking at your displays there that you have the clothes, and I was running through my mind. I was like, did these guys have their own line apparel company now? It's their own line.
We always have. The lifestyles where you see the swell, right? So Hook came in, and primarily in the fishing market, but it's a lifestyle play.
Yeah.
And with the Kryptek camouflage, just absolutely took over the fishing market, right? So all the Gulf Coast, the Carolinas, the South, their product line was, hot weather, performance-based, tailored.
Right.
There's a few cold weather pieces and stuff, but the way that they
that's what caught my eye was your cold weather stuff over there.
Well, the way that Hook branded it was Kryptek whatever in the description of the product.
Yeah.
And so I've been asked, hey, do you guys own Hook? Does Hook own you? I mean, there's definitely a lot of confusion by end users and customers. And Hook is a partner, a licensee. They did a super good job in a space that I wasn't really focused on or interested in doing. Right. Didn't have the resources
fishing market,
to do. Yeah. So that's where some of that comes from.
Not a lot of tactical fishermen going on, right?
Well, it goes back to that.
Unless you're using dynamite.
It goes back to that sports car deal where I'm saying that people are attracted to the camo. The water patterns that we brought in, we actually did a program for a Navy request for suits, and and Pontus and Neptune didn't make the cut. They were thrown away, and we came to SHOT Show that year, and we had two big swatches of that fabric in the back of our booth, and it was over. I mean, we had people screaming for it, and it was one of those things where it was like, should we pull these out of the box and put them up, or no, keep them in the box? Let's pull them out. We got a space over here. It looks a little dead. So
best decision you ever made, right?
Yeah, it was pretty good. But yeah, we've been very, very fortunate. And
you guys have come a long ways, and just like Brooksy said, it's not luck. It's hard work, planning. So congratulations on all the success, man.
Oh, appreciate it. It's pretty humbling, really, to take in.
So what's I know you got 2.0 coming out. Any other big projects you got coming up that we could maybe talk about or tease about?
Well, the biggest I guess 2020 2019 play here right now is our tactical line that is going to be commercially available in the civilian hunting market, or civilian market in general.
Sure.
And what makes that line and collection special is that it was specifically designed for U.S. Army Special Operations with input from U.S. Army Special Operations, and we've brought that into the first responder LE market. Oh, cool. And we've done it. The construction's exceptional. It's extremely well thought out and functional, and
very well received by the LE.
Yeah, it's going to be that's going to be a big thing here. I'm gonna have to go to more trade shows, which sucks. But dude, you think about the trade shows, man.
They're all over the place.
Well, I don't know. We do Dallas Safari, SCI is already done. Then we go into SHOT. I got a mid-state trade show next weekend. Then we've got Wild Sheep Foundation, Western Expo, SOFIC, and then EWA in Germany. That's 9. Wow. That's the first 3 months of the year. And then we're talking about all the law enforcement shows.
Yeah.
And then we could go global and go to the international shows, Millpool and all these others. And I mean, you could do nothing but go to shows all year long.
That could be your life.
I don't want that life. It's just supposed to be lifestyle by design. And it's cool to hang out with you, but that's
why you're the boss, man. You can delegate that.
Yeah, we gotta get some more
educate and delegate.
Get some more people lined out for that type of thing. But we are going to make a major push. We've got some really cool programs with some SWAT teams in the U.S. right now. One of them is Idaho State SWAT Team, which Buck Knives and Kryptek shares that great state. So that's a cool thing. Right. That's kind of a cool connection between Buck and Kryptek. There's a lot more to it, but it's pretty cool to have our entire SWAT team running our combat line in Kryptek Highlander. They're badass. I got to talk to the governor and see if I can get him permission to let us release some video and use it for marketing.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
We've also got a really good, one of the top SWAT teams in California, Fairfield County. They run Kryptek Raid, really sharp, really cool.
Jeremy, the guy that introduced you, the watch guy.
Yeah.
He's former SWAT.
Yeah.
He's former SWAT guy.
Yeah. That's the flavor of the Kryptek brand, right?
Yeah.
It's this shooting, tactical, hunting crossover, and
That's the great thing about it. I mean, it transcends to all the outdoor shooting sports, and then even beyond, where you're getting into the automotive and beyond that as well. So
yeah, we've had some the NRA. Buck was a part of it. Nosler, Leupold, a handful of other brands, Boyd gun cases. We just did a deal with the NRA, and there was a Kryptek edition Dodge Ram 1500. In fact, you can still go enter to win it.
Oh, they're giving it away. Nice.
They're giving it away this spring.
Okay.
But Kryptek just looks good on vehicles, man. I mean, it looks badass.
I haven't seen it look bad on anything.
The first time I saw it on a rig was Josh's pickup.
Yeah.
And I was like,
so I think he should.
We just pulled in for a meeting there in Meridian, and he drove up in the pickup. I was like, you got to be kidding. I mean, I shouldn't have been surprised, but it was like.
Which one did you use for the truck?
That's a Ford Raptor. Truck.
Which
that had
pattern?
That had Typhon on it at the time.
I love the Typhon. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
And then it's all tricked out on the inside with all the tactical Kryptek seat covers, which are badass. You organize all your kit on the back. You got your magazines, flashlights.
And you guys make those also?
Well, we've got a partner that does.
Okay.
Cover King, and
that's cool.
They're quite elaborate. But that truck was actually featured like in Recoil magazine or something.
Well, we got I want to say it was last fall. I flew down, and Butch said that I could use that pickup for a promo that we were doing back at
That's dangerous.
back at the headquarters. And I'm like, you think there's any chance that I could get that up there? And he's like, you want to come down and get it? So it was a tight schedule because I think you were just finishing up like a bull riding or rodeo or something like that it was featured in. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll come down. I'll get it cleaned up before we get it out there. People were like raving about this thing. I just parked it up on the curb right there in front of our headquarters for 4 or 5 days, however long we had our promo.
It just makes things look better. Like the lead sled would look really good.
I didn't even care about the promo. What I cared about was being able to drive it there, because that's a 6-hour drive.
I bet you got looks on the way up there too.
Well, yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, I have a face for radio. You and I could probably work together.
Yeah.
So we were driving up the highway, and I was driving up the highway, and I had more looks and whistles, and I'm like, it's not me, it's the pickup. I know that, but it's a beautiful rig.
It's cool. That truck is not the truck they're giving away. That truck's got almost 20,000 miles on it now. We've mowed it on a bunch of hunts and actually used it. It's actually, we've beat it up a little bit, but the truck that the NRA is going to give away is brand new, 0 miles.
Brand spanking new.
Yeah, NRA Big Truck Giveaway is the name.
Are you going to autograph it?
It's got Kryptek logos on the head seat and on the tailgate.
Also about Butch
Maybe.
Put Butch on there.
If whoever wins it wants it,
You'll do it.
I'll do it. Sure. I autographed a hat yesterday for some gal. That was kind of fun to do in front of my wife.
You may already be in this this industry, but lingerie. Kryptek lingerie, man.
Dude, we've been asked to do
boxers.
it. We've been asked to
silky
do it.
boxers.
We've been asked to do it.
Yeah.
And I like pretty girls, and I love lingerie. It just wasn't capturing the flavor of the voice of our brand.
Right.
Especially when you've got these, what I keep saying, legacy camo companies that are out there, and they're on lighters and lingerie and whatever. It's kind of hard to have programs for the units that we have, and you can go buy the shit on lingerie. Right.
Kind of like.
Yeah, we've had some swimsuits. There was a gal that entered herself. I don't even know how the details on it, but she entered in like Best Babe Gun Award, whatever. There was a competition with a radio station in Boise. Okay. And there were stunning pictures, beautiful girl, but I was like, that's not the flavor of our brand, even though you can get away with that in the tactical. If we were just pure tactical, right? Yeah. You can get away with a lot. And we run with those guys. We've been deployed with those guys. They're our guys, right? But then when you come back in onto the hunting side and you're associated with family brands like Buck Knives or Weatherby Firearms.
It's a good point.
You got to find the balance between the two. And I'm the guy that finds that, because you should hear some of the ideas that gets brought to me by Cleghorn. I have to keep us on the straight.
You're like, no, back over here, guys.
Yeah, it's easy to get away with stuff if you're just going to be purely focused in that one demographic.
Like thermals and things like that. You guys are doing those.
Yeah, base layers. If you go to our website, kryptek.com, we've got everything that you would ever imagine, from base layers to insulations to rain gear to hot weather gear to you name it, right? It's an absolute complete collection. And the other thing is, we've brought in some extreme talent. I've got the head of research and development that I hired out of Marmot. He was there with 15 years, and that's a mountaineering brand.
Right, yeah.
And he was with
the elephant thing, or what?
Oh, that's Mammoth.
Mammoth, okay.
Yeah, Mammoth. No, this is Marmot, but
Marmot, okay.
But extensive amount of experience that's now brought into our quality, and we just it's kind of like if you said to me you want a red car, and so that you're saying the red car, right? Mm-hmm. And I can either get you a red Pinto or I can get you a red Ferrari. Right. They're both red cars.
It's a red car, yeah.
Right? So they're both red. But what really matters is what's underneath the red. Yeah. So if you strip off the camo discussion and we have solids and you just talk about this black jacket or this black vest or this tan pant, it's about the quality, the construction, the performance, and so on. And then it's the paint job that comes on.
The stuff you're putting your camo on is quality, high quality.
Kryptek branded. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Now, where are you guys? You're based out of?
Eagle, Idaho.
Idaho as well, okay.
And Post Falls, Idaho is, 6 hours, I guess, to the north, especially if you're going 85 miles an hour.
That's right.
Not too far away.
Yeah, we cut a little bit of time off that trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the website again is?
www.kryptek.com.
And you guys can go check out everything they've got there. And then, of course, I'm sure you've got some retail stores.
We are in all kinds of retail stores.
All over the country.
Sportsman's Warehouse is a big one. Scheels, Dick's, various Cabela's, then a lot of independents.
Yeah. Now, are you guys doing shoes?
There are Kryptek shoes, not Kryptek branded. There's mostly boots.
Okay.
Probably the best, in my opinion, that I wear quite often is La Sportivas out of Italy.
Those sound nice.
Yeah, the Trango Cube GTX.
Those sound really nice.
Yeah, that's a crazy backstory on that one. They came in one color before. It was rainbow, so yellow, red. And what happened was some of our U.S. military unit was running those shoes and spray painting them, and they asked them if they could get them in Kryptek Highlander, and that's why that boot's available in Highlander.
That's a cool story.
But Reebok has done a boot in Typhon. It's a tactical law enforcement boot.
Yeah.
Of course, then Hook's done some fishing type sneakers in Typhon and stuff. So we don't have Kryptek branded footwear and I don't know if we will when there's so many good.
Maybe
there's so many good footwear companies out there that we can partner with and just let them
Makes
do what they
sense to
do good.
That.
Yeah, discussions
awesome.
with some. Most of them are either tactical discussions or hunting discussions.
So this is the first time you've been on our show, Talking Lead Podcast, and we have this line of questions that we ask our new guys. And you are a new guy. Okay,
did I not get a read ahead for this?
No, it's fly by the seat of your pants. It's all reflex answers.
Okay.
So they're fun, so don't worry.
Good luck,
Okay.
Butch.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
What's your earliest recollection being exposed or shooting a firearm?
Well, I got my first 22 for Christmas when I was 4 years old.
4?
And I still have it.
That is awesome.
It's a Remington bolt action, I think 580 or something. I can't remember the exact make, but no, I grew up, I think, with a gun in my hand.
Yeah,
and,
4, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so.
And then you progressed up from that, I'm sure, as the years went on. Being in the area, is that where you grew up in Idaho?
Yeah, actually.
So you did a lot of hunting, I'm sure.
That was it. I came from, my family owned a ranch in southern Idaho and grew up in a culture of hunting and the outdoors. And that's where the passion that drove me into the military and then want to get back into the outdoor industry and and very firearm shooting related.
Yeah.
So that was the first recollection. I can still remember the box. Oh, and here's the other thing too. It was like 35 miles to town. And so my grandmother would only go to town like once a week, right? And I would get rationed 22 shells. I'd get a brick every Sunday evening, and I had to make the 500 rounds last the week. And at the time,
you were shooting that much.
The jackrabbits back then were super thick. I mean, this was like anybody listening from Idaho will remember this. The Mud Lake. They would go out with baseball bats and kill jackrabbits. That's how many there were.
Wow.
So I was jackrabbit. I've killed more. Well, I was gonna say
Go ahead, say it.
Only thing I've killed more than Muslims is jackrabbits. I should quantify Al Qaeda or terrorist. Let's just say something like that.
Yeah, we get what you're saying. We understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's
that
awesome.
area down there is it is booming with critters. They have what's called whistle pigs down there.
Yeah, that's the other thing,
And we go down. We make it a point. I literally book time to go down to their area because we don't have them up in northern Idaho.
Now,
It's
what
too
are
cold.
they? Whistle pigs?
Whistle pigs. They're
What is
just
that?
basically ground squirrels.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they make this sound. They just whistle at you, and that's how you spot them half the time.
And they're just all over the place.
They are everywhere, and we just go out and we slaughter
'em.
whistle pigs.
Yeah.
What do you shoot them with?
22s and 17.
17.
That's what I'll say that we shoot them with.
Okay.
There are other calibers that you can shoot,
Sure.
but
sure.
those are the preferred, cheaper ones. That when you were talking about rationing 22 shells, I mean, whistle pigs just comes to my mind.
Right. Exactly.
Now in Idaho, what's the carry law in Idaho? You got to get a permit. And
No, Butch Otter changed that a couple years ago. It used to be that you had to go through the course and get your card, which, it's a good idea to have.
Yeah.
The training's good and stuff, but they changed it to where you don't have to have a permit in Idaho.
okay, you just carry.
You can, just
Conceal carry?
Yep, conceal
Very
carry.
nice.
But, I mean, it's a relatively, a couple years is
Yeah.
just the
You're looking
recent
for your
change.
permit.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Oh, that's nice.
But,
okay. That's like a Tennessee one.
yeah, so that would probably work in Tennessee as well.
Yeah.
I don't have the states all
Reciprocal.
memorized.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Tennessee's pretty much
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
So, yep.
Very cool. What was your first carry?
My first carry?
Yeah. First
A
handgun
very,
carry.
very unsafe handgun. It's called a Bearcat, a Ruger Bearcat.
Oh, Ruger Bearcat.
Yeah. They recalled the pistol because the firing pin would actually rest up against the cartridge.
Yeah.
And it's like, the whole analogy. It's a wheel gun, but small.
Yeah.
You familiar with it?
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
them.
and
Yeah.
so
I'm familiar with the story on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But tell our listeners something.
I don't want to tell this story.
Tell them.
What the only
They were very unsafe.
The only AD I've ever had in my life has been with that pistol.
Right.
And I actually was an officer in the military. This is years later. I came home to Idaho and we did a mountain lion hunt. And I used a 357 to harvest this mountain lion, but I had that bear cat as well. And I set that bear cat down on the seat, and then I put a pack on top of it, a small pack. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, when we stopped and we're getting out, and the hunt's over, successful, killed this mountain lion, we're back home. I reached in and grabbed that backpack and pulled it like this to take it out of the truck, and that pistol slid underneath the backpack, and then it fell, and it landed on the hammer on the ground, and put a bullet hole in my dad's restored, I think, 77 something super nice vehicle. Yeah. And the guy I was hunting with, he goes, "Holy shit, I cannot believe you're an officer in the U.S. Army." So it's the only AD I've ever had in my life.
But that doesn't really count as, that's a malfunction.
Well, afterwards, that's, I think I ended up malfunction. Yeah, there was a recall by River.
So you still haven't had an AD, dude. So you're still 100%.
Okay.
In my book.
Okay, perfect, good.
So we talked about a little bit. You touched on that you do have military background.
Yeah.
How many years?
10 years, 9 months, 6 days.
With
U.S. Army.
U.S. Army. And
yeah.
You fly helicopters.
Yeah, I flew Apache attack helicopters. I went to Gonzaga University on a ROTC scholarship, got my degree in mechanical engineering with a minor in physics and math, and went straight into Army Flight School. Through Army Flight School, was selected to fly attack helicopters, and did, been to Iraq a couple times, Afghanistan a couple times, and
did you always want to fly helicopters, or did you want to get into the planes?
I mean, ultimately, to be really honest, I wanted to be a sniper, and I shot competitively in college and high school, and then once I started to realize that officers are not sitting behind the scope,
right,
and I started to look at the other options and considerations, and attack aviation was the most lethal weapons platform on the battlefield,
right,
and so that's when I really started to learn about that in college.
Yeah.
So I always knew I wanted to be an officer in the military, but
just didn't know which direction you wanted to go.
What branch? To be in. But I've never had a desire to fly fixed wing. I've flown them. I get asked all the time, do you miss flying? And the answer is no, but I definitely miss pulling the trigger.
Sure.
Ripping $100,000 Hellfire off the rail.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing better than that.
Yeah. I mean, you're one of the few percentile of people who have done that. So that's
there's not a whole lot, especially in actual combat.
Yeah.
So that's an even.
How old are you?
I just had this discussion with my wife last night.
You're younger than me.
I'm 40. I'm 45.
Okay.
I'm gonna be 45.
You're gonna be 45. Okay.
Yeah. 45.
I'll be 48, so we're close to the same age. But
yeah.
Top Gun was a big influencer on me in wanting to become a pilot. A naval aviator.
Because you get all the girls, right?
Well, that's kind of what it was. So I went in to enlist. Because I wanted to be a naval aviator, and they wouldn't take me because of my vision.
Right.
They could be very selective then, and they wouldn't even take you if you'd had it corrected.
Right.
Back in those days. So I was like, well, screw that. If I can't do that, then I'll just go to college, and went through aerospace. Got my aerospace degree. And
right on.
Pro pilot. Started that way, and then I went admin, and
yeah.
Helicopters would be. I would love to fly a helicopter. I've never flown a helicopter.
Yeah, it's a lot of flexibility with what you can do. So the other founder, Cleghorn, he actually started enlisted in the Navy, and he was in Navy Special Warfare, and then he decided he wanted to fly, and so he dropped his packet to become a warrant officer in the Army. He got selected for H-64 Apaches. While he was at school, the 160th, which is U.S. Army Aviation Special Operations, did a selection. So once he was done, the last rotation I did with him, he went and flew Little Birds in the 160th.
Oh, cool.
And a lot of the connections that we have back into Navy Special Warfare and Army Special Warfare now come out of that time. He was flying slicks and inserting these guys that were kicking in doors at the time that are now, they've moved up the chain or whatever. So so that's.
And did you guys fly together?
Yeah, we did. Well, we flew together in terms of he was my wingman. We always flew in teams of 2.
Right.
And I had cover a 24-hour period, so we had the same shifts, and we were partnering. I don't know what the exact number is, but like 95% of the missions that we flew together.
Have you got an oh shit moment that you can tell us about?
From flying?
Yeah. I'm sure you got several, but
there's
a good
one.
funny one.
It's not funny. I don't have any funny ones.
You don't have any? Okay.
they're all oh shit moments.
They're like real oh shit.
Yeah. I mean, I had some hairy stuff. Oh shit! I went down in what's called the Yusufia, the Triangle of Death, south of Baghdad, in the middle of a gunfight. That was an oh shit moment. That was on April 5th, 2005. We got, and it was also 300 yards away from the Euphrates River, so there was this whole biblical connection.
Right.
And,
but
that was definitely an oh shit day.
What happened? What did you got?
Yeah, it's a long
RPG or
combination of a bunch of stuff.
All kinds of bullshit.
Yeah, combination of all kinds of stuff. But brand new Lot 8 longbow. I think they're $32 million stuck in a what you'd call best described in Iraq. That doesn't make sense, but a rice paddy because it was so heavily irrigated. And when I got M1 Bradley fighting vehicle came out and was just ripping with the 20 millimeter on top and. At the compound where these Al-Qaeda had just popped this IED from, and when I opened the door, a medic came out of the back of that vehicle, and his feet were level with the top of my head. That's how the aircraft went into the into that heavily irrigated field.
Yeah.
So
you're just that deep in mud.
Yeah. That's probably the most significant oh shit. There's lots of others,
Sure.
But that was a significant one.
That's cool. That's a good story. I like that. So when it comes to pop culture, movies, TV shows, magazines, music, whatever it may be,
right?
Video games. I mean, you did video games or stuff. What's your go-to that's firearms related?
Firearms related?
Yeah, they have guns like shoot 'em up, or maybe get you just jazz with music, or video game you like playing.
So Kryptek's in Call of Duty Black Ops. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Tom Clancy Ghost Recon. We're in all those games.
Sweet.
We're also in a bunch of movies. Fast and Furious 7, Jurassic World.
You're in Jurassic World?
Yeah, all the security guards that get eaten by the dinosaurs are wearing
Kryptek.
Yeah.
Not only is it fashionable,
tastes good too,
but it's tasty. Yeah. Tasty snack.
Expendables 3. Lots of Kryptek in that.
Yeah.
Lots of Kryptek in that. So I'm familiar with this stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't play them, and I don't
watch
participate.
them.
No. The first time Activision contacted us, they wanted to put our camo in the video game. It's an interesting story. One of the head decision makers was at a shooting school leadership course that was on the East Coast, and the guys that were instructing it were wearing our gear. And he asked him about it. He flew back to LA after they told him the whole story, and then his VP of licensing contacted us the next day and wanted to license the camo to put into Call of Duty Black Ops. And my initial response was, I don't care about video games. I'm not going to do that. And then I got educated on it and realized how popular it was and stuff. So to answer your question on this pop culture thing, is very familiar, involved with a lot of it, but I don't really participate too much in it.
Even when you were younger? Did you watch TV? Did you watch TV? Did you watch like Magnum PI growing up? Or
I think the most influential movie for me would be Red Dawn.
Red Dawn, okay.
The first Red Dawn,
yes,
not the second
original,
one.
Yeah.
Right.
Patrick Swayze.
That should be required viewing for all American young males.
Right. Should be in our elementary school systems.
Fifth grade
education. I agree with you on that one. Very good. Very good.
Yep.
What is your next bucket list item? I mean, it doesn't have to be a firearm, but it could be like a vehicle. Next gotta have, want to have. Next opportunity again, I'm going to get this. What's that?
next opportunity, I really want to get this.
Yeah, he's like I've been thinking about getting one of these. I think I'll pick it up next opportunity.
Well, the new Barrett 50 cal, I think, is
That's
actually
a good one.
Yeah, that's underway, I think.
Yeah.
So-
Are they here this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're here. Okay.
Yeah.
Haven't
So-
seen them. They're in my hometown, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. That's where Barry.
Well, you should be really tight with them. So we've done some stuff with those guys in the past, but I'm really super fortunate. I got a lot of guns, and a lot of them I get good deals on and
Sure.
are gifted from.
I understand. I'm right here with you.
I ran a 33 Nosler all year last year, which was one of John Nosler's new calibers. It's got better ballistics than a 338 Lapua.
Nice.
And crushed a lot of really nice trophies.
Big game hunting.
Yeah, giant coastal brown bear up in Alaska.
What's your favorite type of hunting?
So I that's an easy question. My favorite is no shit mule deer hunting.
Mule deer?
Yeah,
Dig
I love hunting mule deer, and I think it's because of what I was telling you earlier about tying back into growing up. That's what my family did. That was our family activity. Was
So
mule.
it kind of brings back some good fond memories.
Yeah, it's just.
Now, do you have children? Did we talk about that?
No, I got 2 children. We haven't talked about it. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you acclimated them to the hunting?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Outdoors and absolutely.
Extremely accomplished shooters.
Very nice.
Long range.
What age did you start them educating their?
Well, I think that they got their. I started them off with their Daisy single pump.
Sure.
And we went through that. That didn't last long, and they got their first 22s probably when they were 6. And then they are huge 6.5 Creedmoor fans.
Really?
And first shot cold barrel, no problem, dialing their own dope,
Very
500
nice.
yard type.
Now, how old are
shooters.
they now?
Now they are 18 and 15.
Okay, yeah.
Well, and
pretty
they're
sweet.
very accomplished. My oldest daughter has hunted and done a safari with my wife in Africa and harvested a bunch
Very
of game
nice.
over there. New Zealand, of course, North America, Alaska. My youngest daughter killed her first bear when she was 8 years old. There's no hunting age in Alaska.
Okay.
So as long as you're with a licensed adult,
I did not know that.
yeah,
That's
you
cool.
could take you could be, if you can shoot, you could hand them the rifle and they shoot it and you tag it.
harvest a bear. Nice.
Or whatever.
How big was it?
It wasn't huge. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a black bear.
Sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was the first bear, though.
Do you remember her? I'm sure you do.
Oh.
Her reaction?
Yeah. My
Priceless.
best hunting memories and experiences all have been with my families,
Yeah.
my kids, and my wife.
Thus the mule deer.
Yeah, mule deer, red stag, just anything. I get more excited with them than I do with myself.
Yeah.
When I pull the trigger. But yeah, they've been completely immersed in the outdoor culture and lifestyle, and they talk like a subject matter expert when it comes to defending that lifestyle and why we do it, from harvesting the animal, being the only person that touches that animal, the organic aspect of the animal,
Right.
through processing it, through packaging it, all the way to now it's in the freezer and it's time to get it out and doing a recipe and cooking it with mom or me, whatever.
Sure.
So my
And that's
oldest,
through education that
yeah,
you instilled in them.
yeah, and they are going to be advocates for the lifestyle and the culture of hunting and shooting.
Very good. You're raising
for
them
years
right,
to
man.
come. Yeah, absolutely.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, so I'm gonna fast forward to our last question.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of modify it a little bit. No, I'll ask it the way it is. So, if you could spend the day at the range with anyone or any group of people, whether they're alive, dead, fictional, who would it be?
John Wayne's got to be there.
John
right?
Wayne.
He's going to be on the range with us.
Hell
right?
yeah,
And then,
the Duke, baby.
no, I've got a lot of really, really talented shooters that do instruction for a living.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those super good friends, we just haven't made it happen. I mean, but Kyle Lamb from Viking Tactics is, he's
Kyle.
John Wayne, Kyle Lamb.
Kyle Lamb.
Chief Sitting Bull would be cool.
Sitting Bull. That's a first. Nobody has ever said Chief Sitting Bull.
Well, dude, you said anybody in time.
No, this is
if you're
cool.
if you're gonna do the pullback in
I
time,
love
we got to
this.
make it work.
See, you're answering this question the way it's supposed to be answered. I love this.
Am I?
Yes.
I didn't know.
No, this is it, man. I love this because that's why I don't prepare you up front because I want to get,
Yeah, instantaneous. And then we'd probably need to pull, a famous General Patton would be there.
General Patton would be great.
And I think that probably round it out, it'd be a pretty good day at the range.
I think that would be an awesome day. That would be one that I would attend. Yeah, that's cool.
We get some T-shirts out of that one.
Butch, thank you so much for taking the time to be on. Greatly appreciate it. I know you're slam jammed here at SHOT Show.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
We're humbled that you took the time to be on. So thank you so much. Once again, Kryptek guys, go to their website, check out their social media, Instagram, Facebook. Let them know you're a lead head. Let them know that you appreciate everything that they're doing for our 2A community as well. Any last words you want to say to the lead heads?
God bless America.
America. Hell yeah.
All right, man.
All right, guys, we got more coming from 2019 SHOT Show coming up at the Buck Knives booth.
Thank you, guys.
What a great interview there with Butch Whiting at Kryptek. Really enjoyed that interview. Looking forward to having Butch back on again in the near future. Just a super nice guy. And Butch, if you're listening, I really appreciate the invitation to the after party. It was ballin', man. Really loved that. So many more interviews from the 2019 SHOT Show from the official Leadquarters of Buck Knives. We've got Fiocchi, Geisley, VK Systems, Hero Hunt, Inland Manufacturing. We've got our interviews from our men on the street. We had a new Target company called Hat Point. They've actually sent me some things that I'll be talking about in some upcoming episodes. Real avid. They had that awesome Armor's toolkit. You guys saw me post some pictures of that. We've got Kenny from Dasan, also Alpha Foxtrot. They're building those aluminum Glock lowers for the Gen 3s. They'll be coming out with a lot more new stuff. Filson Outfitters, Zenith Firearms. We even got Brad Little, the governor of Idaho, coming up. Christy Titus. Got a huge interview that we did with Bob Taylor of Taylor Guitars. That's going to be dropping soon. And many more interviews. So you guys keep up to date on your downloads. Make sure you've got those set up on auto notice. So when we drop these, you'll get a notification on your phone there, your smartphone, so you'll be able to stay on point with us, keep up with the giveaways that we're doing, all the events that we're going to be attending coming up, and, of course, training courses that we're setting up for you lead heads. We've got our first series of those coming up April the 6th with ICE Training, Rob Pincus, here in Nashville, April the 6th at Royal Range, USA. And then we've got out in California in July, we've got one in Pala, California. We've got one in Exeter, California. The one in Pala is July the 17th, and the one in Exeter is July the 20th. And then, of course, like I told you in other episodes, we've got other trainers that we're working with to get you guys some really good deals and encourage you to get out there and train with your firearms. Train. Can't say it enough. So we're trying to help make that financially easier for you lead heads. So now I think it's time that we go ahead and give away our last civilian EDC Pocket Dump Rewards package presented by Streamlight, Buck Knives, FLEOA, and of course Talking Lead, where we're giving away a Streamlight ProTac flashlight, giving away one of the Buck Knives Blue Line knives, and a Defy Battlefield watch provided by our good buddy Bill over at the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association. So you make sure you guys go show them some love. We want to continue to do programs like this for you lead heads, for our law enforcement, military, fire department, EMS, our sheepdog. And we're lucky enough to do this because you lead heads go and show our sponsors, supporters of the show, friends of the show, that are providing all this awesome swag and gear for you guys, showing them the love on Instagram, on Facebook, buying their products. That's the most awesome thing that you guys can do to show your appreciation is when you go to their websites and you're buying their products, let them know that you're lead heads. And, that's how we're able to get you guys these awesome discounts as well. So let them know you're lead heads as you're going and buying, and we'll continue to get you guys some awesome discounts from as many of these companies as possible. So without further ado, let's go ahead and announce our final civilian EDC Pocket Dump Rewards package recipient. And the winner is, drumroll please, Patrick Lynch 70281 on Instagram. And Patrick made a post on Instagram that says, celebrating my birthday with local LEO Burgess of the town of Burns, Tennessee Police Department. Thanks all of you first responders, military, and sheepdogs. Thank you to Carol for taking the photo. And then he's got the proper hashtags. He got hashtag EDCPD. And then he hits, he's got the hashtag Talking Lead, hashtag Streamlight, hashtag Buck Knives, hashtag FLEOA Bill. And of course he tags us all as well. So congratulations, Patrick. And I actually first met Patrick a few months back at the Royal Range there in Nashville, Tennessee. He had come out for an event that we were set up at, and he had never heard of Talking Lead before, never listened to the show, met us there, and he's been binge listening ever since, and I think he's pretty much caught up. But I had the opportunity to speak with Patrick again. Royal Range had another event this past weekend where they had rugged suppressors out there, and Patrick showed up, hung out, we had a good talk. Patrick is a veteran himself, and Patrick works at the VA. So Patrick is continuing his service by helping his brothers and sisters there at the VA. So Patrick, we appreciate all that you're doing for our veterans, and thank you for your service to our country. Congratulations. Get in touch with me. Shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com. We will make sure that we get this package out to you. And I think what we'll also do, since we've got 3 more sheepdog packages to give out, we'll go ahead and send you another one, and you can award that to either Carol for taking the picture or LEO Burgess. It's your choice. But and I know you will do this. I know you'll take pictures and post those on social media when you do that as well. So there you go, guys. We've got 2 more sheepdog EDC Pocket Dump Reward packages to give out. And just a quick reminder, if you're law enforcement, military, fire department, first responder, when you're out in public, just take a picture of you with civilians and then use the hashtag EDCPD, Talking Lead, Streamlight, Buck Knives, FLEOA Bill, and then tag all of us. It's at Talking Lead, it's at Streamlight Inc., it's at Buck Knives, and it's at FLEOA Bill, FLEOA BILLH. And then who knows what we're going to be giving away next. We've got our 300th episode coming up, so I can't imagine us not doing something big for that too. You guys have some suggestions maybe? Shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com, and put in the subject TL 300th episode suggestions. Something along those lines. So go and show all our sponsors and friends of the show some love so that maybe we can make that 300th episode even more special. Right on, the official optics of Talking Lead, RITON, optics.com. Check them out. Modern Spartan Systems. Been using Modern Spartan Systems since before we started this show, and they've been great sponsors, so make sure you go and show them some love. Go get all your gun cleaning and lubrication products from Modern Spartan Systems. They've even got that engine additive called the TVT engine oil additive, which I use in all our vehicles and pretty much anything that has an engine here at the Leadquarters. ModernSpartanSystems.com. X Steel Targets.
X Steel Targets.
The best, most affordable AR-500 steel targets on the market today are X Steel Targets. Any kind of target that you can think of that you would want, you can find it there at X Steel Targets. And if you don't, then just get in touch with Bud over there and they can custom make an AR-500 steel target to fit your needs. Precision shooting, target shooting, plinking, training, you name it, they've got them. Reactive targets, static targets. There's just nothing more satisfying than that big old team. So check them out, xsteeltargets.com. Kel-Tec Weapons, great bunch of guys over there. Very innovative company, Kel-Tec Weapons. Check out their new CP33. That is their 22 long rifle caliber pistol that they've got. It's a 33 plus 1 round magazine. It's super lightweight. It's less than 2 pounds, and it shoots really well. I had a chance to shoot that at SHOT Show. And check out their KS7 shotgun. That's in their that's in the lines of their KSG series. It's a single barrel KSG, so it's going to be lighter weight. It's going to be more affordable, for one thing, as if the KSG wasn't affordable to begin with. But it's a really smooth shooter. I got to shoot that as well. Check them out, keltecweapons.com. And then, of course, all their cool gear that they've got and their pistols and their other pistols. They've got the PF9, the P11, the P32, PLR16, PLR22. I've got a PLR. I love the PLR16. I've got that. And then, of course, the rifles. I mean, my gosh, the RDB, the RFB, the SU series. They've got the CMR30, which is a cool looking 22 WMR rifle. And then, of course, the Sub 2000, one of my favorite all-time pistol caliber carbines. You can get that in a 9mm or a 40 Smith & Wesson. KeltecWeapons.com. And then, of course, for your official Talking Lead swag, go to 1776united.com. Guys, they've had some really good deals here lately. They've had some buy one, get one half off kind of deals. So be checking their site often, and you'll be able to get some really good deals on their t-shirts and hats and mugs, cups, all kinds of things that they've got over there. 1776united.com, where you can get the classic Talking Lead t-shirt, and you can get the Leadhead Brigade t-shirts there. And, of course, the Leadhead Brigade patches when they get back in stock. He promises me that those will be in stock soon. So keep checking back at the website there. And for your drinkware, if you don't have a Talking Leady yet, you need to get your Talking Leady. It is better than a Yeti. Keep your drinks minutes colder than a Yeti. The Talking Leady, the evil black assault mug. Don't be a snowflake. Get your Talking Leady. Go to dip123.com/Talking Lead to get those. Lots more shows coming, Leadheads, and at a more frequent rate. So, like I said, make sure you're checking your app that you listen to us from, the website that you listen to us from, whether it's iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, our website, TalkingLead.com, the Firearms Radio Network. You can download us and listen to us there. Or YouTube. You can go to YouTube and listen to us there as well, among a bazillion other places. So just go to your favorite podcasting app, and we should be there. And make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Be engaging with us, because you never know who we're going to pick to win awesome prizes from Talking Lead and Talking Lead Partners. Until next time, Leadheads, as always, keep your loved ones close and your firearms closer.